American IT would like to thank Northeast Utilities for the opportunity to compete and develop a partnership for your computer hardware and associated services. And this small demonstration is designed to show you very quickly how we're planning to meet your objectives. The first objective being to reduce the cost while improving the services. And secondly is to ensure that all the services are performed efficiently, accurately, in a well-controlled manner. Thirdly is to establish a computer services plan, or SLAs, that are planned and within the prescribed budget. And lastly is to establish a simplified means to ensure that all the contract terms are met. What we've done is we've taken your scope and we've aligned them in a typical workflow or a typical scenario of how it would work. One is we assign the technicians, then we set up the administration of the help desk, the resources, the inventory, the ticketing, the SLAs. Then we look at how we can procure and come up with the initial inventory list within the system and maintain complete control over the assets from the asset tagging all the way through the life cycle of the life of the contract, to include all the services: reimages, deployment, break fix, desk side support, moves, adds and chains, support and computer disposal services, and the sale. In essence, the 360-degree view of all of your assets. The American IT Asset Management System / Help Desk, Reporting Tool, SLA, and Resource Management Tool that we use has two sides: the customer-facing side and also the back-end side. The first screen you're looking at here is the customer-facing side. This is the URL or the web form that the users can simply log in and view their current open tickets. They can view their company tickets. They can search for tickets based on their roles and permissions. And if they simply wanted to create a new ticket, they would click Create. And it's a very simple, user-friendly interface that allows them to simply create a ticket, and all of these drop-down boxes are definable based on the RFP and the SLA agreements. So whatever vocabulary or terms Northeastern Utilities needs, we can then put them in there. So finally, we would simply just say this is a service request. It will be going to the service desk. We can say which service it is, and also assign it which SLA it's a part of. And we put the subject and we put the description. We can also add attachments. We can give it a priority and which product it is, and then we simply hit submit. And you'll see here that it's a very straightforward interface. However, the users can simply call in the service request. They can email it as well. In addition to the customer front end, the customer also has a knowledge base accessible to them. So if you have a knowledge base, we would be able to import that in, or we can build the knowledge base based on the responses to the tickets, and the users will be able to search for questions themselves as well. Getting to the back end of the system, this is the administrative side of the Inventory Asset Management Help Desk Service System. So the first thing we'll do for Northeast Utilities is we'll create Northeast as a company. We'll define all of the users, so we'll be able to match an inventory item to an actual resource if it is in production mode. And then we'll give each one of those users roles and permissions. And then we will come over here and we will define the service level agreements based on that. And then following that is then what we'll do is we will then do the inventory. We can import from Excel or CSV from either your existing system, or we can import right from the manufacturer, whether it's HP, Dell. When we actually procure the inventory, we can obtain a CSV file so that we will import the inventory into the system even before it arrives to the warehouse. And once it arrives to the warehouse, we can either manually look it up or we can scan it. And you can see here that once we import this information, you'll see here that each particular configurable item has a plethora of items that you can attach to it. So it actually creates not just the inventory and the asset, but it shows the versions, the history of this. It will link all of the service tickets assigned to this, any of the workflows and permissions for procuring a new PC. So we are actually able to capture 360-degree view of the asset when it comes into the warehouse. It goes in for reimaging. It is assigned to a resource. It is repaired, deployed, reimaged, and destroyed or sold. After we do the inventory, then what we'll do is we will then define workflows. So here's an example of a workflow for a new hire or a change request. And this particular workflow, you'll see here, has different stages. These workflows are defined in conjunction with Northeast Utilities, and the approval process can go back and forth. So the procurement can start with Northeast Utilities, be disseminated out to American IT once it's approved, and then once it's received at the docks, it can also be sent back to American Northeast Utilities for their approval and also recognition and reconciliation of the inventory. But you'll see here, as I hover over the workflow, it actually describes what process of the workflow this is talking about. So when we hire a new employee, we need to get them a PC, we need to get them a phone, we need to schedule their IP address, get them on the network, etc. So this will be mapped out for each workflow and each process. So as we do this, you'll see here that we can also look at the change overview of this. We can now go ahead and schedule this workflow, and or we can actually look at the calendar for this workflow, and we can take a look at a 3-day, a 1-day, 5-day, 7-day, or 3-month view of the deployment schedules and align it with available resources at both Northeast Utilities and American IT. Following the workflow, then you'll see the service manager role. That this is where all the calls will be monitored. Any escalation tickets, they can be changed, moved, or assigned to different levels of technicians. If we define a tech level 1, tech level 2, a supervisor, the service manager has the ability to monitor this as well as the technicians, and to ensure that all of these service requests, deployment schedules are being monitored and acted upon in a timely manner. And while all this information is being captured from the complete inventory, SLA, service level requests, and tickets, the whole thing is being captured, and we have the ability to look at a plethora of reports and stats. Here's a quick example. On this particular page, you'll see here that there's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5 pages of canned reports that we can implement. So to kind of give you an example of the reports that are in here, if we were to just take a look at a quick report of new tickets and align it to an SLA, we would simply click on that report, we would hit start, and finally then we'd be able to view this either in PDF or Excel spreadsheet. Lays it out in a nice easy fashion. And also, if you look at another example of a report to show you how we can export that, and it can be reconciled with an internal system that Northeast Utility has. If I look at my monthly overview of config items, you'll see here this particular report gives me the ability to print it out as a CSV or print it. So if I set it up as a CSV, I would simply put it that way, and I would open it up in my Excel or Open Office or what have you, and I instantly have this information at my disposal where I can import or export from the system and into an external system. So I'm hoping that the quick overview of showing you from the customer's front end, the customer's frequently asked questions, the administrative panel, the configuration, the inventory, and also the workflow, and then the service manager's desk with all the canned reports. American IT has the ability to capture the 360-degree view of all of your assets aligned with the resources, whether it's in inactive mode, production mode, sunsetting, being destroyed, or sold.
The OTRS iPhone app provides remote access to the OTRS help desk from anywhere. It raises the productivity of service agents who are on-the-go technicians that carry out on-site customer support. The OTRS iPhone app allows multiple help desks to be managed. Service agents can easily add and connect to the OTRS help desk by providing their login credentials. For each help desk, the iPhone app displays a dashboard. There, service agents can quickly get informed about incidents and manage them. For example, in the queue view, all tickets that a service agent can access and edit are displayed. The number to the right indicates open but not yet resolved issues. The number to the left with the asterisk indicates unread tickets. When selecting one of the queues, the iPhone app lists the ticket it contains. These tickets can be read in either a medium or large view. When turning the phone horizontally, more ticket information becomes visible. Pushing the Info button will display list headers. A color on the left side of each ticket indicates the priority of the service request. Dark red is the highest priority. The single ticket view provides the general information about the ticket, such as its status and priority, as well as the customer who submitted the service request and the service agent who owns the ticket. Additionally, it lists all articles that belong to a ticket. Typically, article maps email conversations that evolve around the service request. Going back to the dashboard, the status view shows all tickets that a service agent is allowed to read. Tickets can be browsed based on their status, for example, open or closed. The escalation view lists all escalated incidents that are due today, tomorrow, or at a later point. Watched tickets display a list of tickets that a service agent is monitoring to stay up to date on their progress. Watched tickets will be assigned to different folders, such as newly monitored tickets or those where a reminder deadline has already been reached. Locked tickets contain all incidents that a service agent is currently actively trying to resolve. Pushing the Responsible icon reveals all tickets that have been assigned to a service agent. Of course, service agents can also create new tickets from within the OTRS iPhone app.